Welcome to the President and CEO Focus on the Middle Market podcast series, where President and CEO founder Paul Stukel discusses middle market issues with business leaders from across the nation. Today, Paul speaks with Ryan Wuerch, founder and CEO of Solavei, a social commerce company offering its members an opportunity to earn recurring monthly income by sharing contract-free mobile service with their friends and family, about his company's incredible growth and his strategic vision going forward.
Ryan, obviously a fantastic story. And I guess my first question to you is, how in heaven's name did you come up with this idea? And what made you pursue it?
Well, it's interesting. I've been in the telecommunications and technology industry now for almost 2 decades. Had 3 successful exits. My last company took from an idea of creating a global leader in mobile data services and solutions. We ended up enabling, our infrastructure enabled some of the largest mobile operators in the world, such as AT&T, Reliance in India, Excel in Indonesia, and many others, with billions of dollars of data transactions happening through our infrastructure. Ultimately, took that company into the public markets in 2010, created a billion-dollar valuation company. And it was ultimately during the course of the last several years involved with that company that I really started seeing a lot of the key trends that were taking place on more of a global macro standpoint. And ultimately, I retired from that company, and it was October of 2011 that I really saw 4 key trends on a global basis really converging. One, I saw the economy in particular here in the United States, but it's really a global issue. Worst conditions since the Great Depression. Individuals, 50% of the United States households making less than $45,000 a year. Individuals looking for a way to either save or earn additional income. The second trend that I saw was that of social. Social media today,
Sure.
Has changed the way we act, the way we interact, the way we take in information, the way we share information today. I mean, who would have thought that 5 years ago that today you could literally have hundreds, and some people have thousands of connections that they're associated with, and the things they share. I think we'd all say 5 years ago we would never share the pictures that you do now socially. The third trend I saw was that of mobile, obviously an industry that I've been a part of, but really saw that the mobile device that we have today, there's 331 million mobile phone users in the United States, 5 billion around the world, and I really saw that these 331 million people in the United States carrying a mobile phone, I mean, it's become like a DNA imprint, of their life. You can't even think about not having your mobile phone with you, and that would be the third trend. The fourth trend was really something that I saw that really an industry we've all been a part of since when we were born, is that of the advertising industry. The advertising industry we're hit by literally thousands upon thousands of imprints on a daily basis. And Nielsen had come out with a research report saying that 47% of people trust big media advertising, radio, television, print. And what I saw that as is 53% of people don't trust it unless they have a really specific relationship with that media imprint that they're getting. At the same time, I saw what was happening with companies like Groupon and Amazon, where they were using referral marketing and affiliate marketing, and ultimately seeing an industry that's a $100+ billion industry today, that of the direct sales industry, where companies like Avon and Tupperware, et cetera, where individuals had helped create billion-dollar companies, but they were personally benefiting because they were the voice of that brand. Well, ultimately, I saw those 4 trends converging, and it was October of 2011 that the vision of Solavei came out on paper, and everything we have created today is all part of what was put on paper in 2011, and which has now created what we're very excited about is almost 200,000 members in just about an 8.5-month period are a part of Solavei. We have well over 100,000 people every single month that are using the mobile services from Solavei on a monthly basis.
Maybe it's a good idea if you could very briefly explain the business model to the listeners so that we can delve in further after that.
You bet. So Solavei, we have created a social commerce platform, and the social commerce platform, think of it as being sitting on top of all the social networks that are there today. And this platform enables our members that are part of Solavei to do really 4 things. One, to be able to buy and use goods and services. at a great value. Number two, it's the very goods and services that you're already using every single day. It's already part of your monthly budget. Number three, the platform enables our members to be connected through a social community, which we have here at Solavei. And number four is we enable our members to get paid on doing something they do already every day when they have something of value and quality, is they share it with friends and family. And in this case, instead of spending billions of dollars in advertising in media, we actually move those dollars directly to the greatest advertising voice we believe is there today, and that's people. And we started first with mobile as our very first offering with our social commerce platform. One, there's 330 million people using mobile phones today. Two, the average mobile phone bill in the United States today is $71. Over 80% of the United States population, over 200 plus million people, are paying more than $50 per month. We ended up doing a very strategic deal with T-Mobile, one of the top nationwide 4G networks in the country, and our platform is directly woven into the top-tier network of T-Mobile. We offer to our members $49 a month, unlimited text, data, voice, 4G nationwide. There's no membership fee. It's just you're a part of Solavei. At the same time, based on the social connections that you have, every three people, which we call a trio, that through our platform that you share Solavei with, so just think about when you post on Facebook or you post on Twitter, your friends are seeing that, and every three people that actually enroll with Solavei, because they like that $49 a month unlimited text, data, voice, 4G nationwide, you get paid $20 a month. So, we literally have tens of thousands of people every month getting paid for referring their friends and family all through what we call a sharing platform where those individuals come into Solavei.
It's interesting as you describe the model. It's this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it strikes me as being a sort of an accumulation of several really strong models that have historically worked, all sort of overlaid with the technology, or at least maybe leveraged by technology is probably a better way of putting it. Because the membership thing strikes says Sam's Club to me, in the sense that it's not just mobile stuff. I mean, it's buying and selling stuff. You're a member of a community. It sounds like Sam's Club or Costco. The refer a friend thing, of course, as you sort of pointed out, is almost like the direct selling Avon thing, because lots of people do that. It's kind of a neat sort of, integration of a whole bunch of things that have worked previously, but sort of applied to a different technological world. I mean, am I rambling, or does that make sense?
No, you're actually dead on. If you think about industries, if Google and Sergey and Larry would have actually created an algorithm prior to the internet becoming a place where you needed to actually aggregate all this information, it would have been way too early. If Jeff Bezos at Amazon would have tried to create books on the internet prior to being an internet where e-commerce had started actually bubbling up, been way too early. Today for us, because of the convergence now between social media, mobile, the wide adoption, and actually people living through that device, the economy, the very trends I said earlier, and going back to what you just said, which is something we talk about very heavily here. If you look at our mission is this: make commerce less expensive. So it means the very things that you do every single day as a consumer, our objective is with our members is we want that to cost less for you. If we can just do that by itself, and you never ever, quote, refer to friend, family, or someone else, we want you to have enough value there. You say, I like this relationship with Solavei, because our vision is we want to positively impact millions of people's lives for good. So back to that first piece, that making commerce less expensive, and you use your example of Costco. If you look at Brotman and Senegal, who founded Costco, what did they do? They took the collective buying power of millions of members to drive prices down with bulk providers, and then pass those savings along to their member base. We're doing the very same thing, except we're taking it one step forward. Is we're saying, okay, if the mobile operators, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, and the others, spent last year $12 billion in advertising, sales, and marketing, if we could just take $1, $2, $3 billion of that and actually move that to people in the forms of $20 and $60 and $100 a month, and you marry those two together through a technology, you do what hasn't been done before. And I always go to this, people right now, when we first launched, and the outside, people said, okay, well, they've created a mobile services company and they're using a Tupperware or Mary Kay model, because they didn't see what the platform is actually built for. And I use this example. Jeff Bezos, when he was launching Amazon, people said, here he is launching a book company on the internet. That's what they said. Everyone said that. But what they didn't realize what he was really doing, he was actually creating a distribution platform that happened to start with books. Right. We have done the exact same thing. We have built an entire platform, social commerce platform. We've started with mobile because everyone today has a mobile phone bill that's typically more expensive than what you'll get it for here at Solavei. Great quality, great value. But then when you're wanting now what we'll be launching this fall, what's called Marketplace, the very places you're going in the other areas of your life, because of the collective buying power we've now created, we're going to be driving those prices down, pushing those benefits to our members, and then on top of it, because the natural connection's already there, taking the advertising dollars that's already in the system and moving it to people.
You're still actually, as I think the information I was given, that you'll probably be $100 million this year. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. You really haven't launched yet. You're in the process of building your network or your membership. Excuse me.
You're right. If you look at it today, with already in such a short period of time to already have approximately 200,000 people in 8.5 months have not voted with it, clicking a like button or I'm going to follow this person, where there's actually no economic transfer. We have almost, approximately 200,000 people that have already voted with their actual dollars that they want to be a member of Solavei, meaning they're using Solavei's mobile service. If you think about Twitter took them 2 years to get to 1 million users. And even after 2 years, 1 million users, they had no economic transfer. They were still trying to figure out what's our financial model. We've actually created now that every 100,000 that gets layered on, and we're all obviously seeing a compounding effect now because the more people that are here, the more people that are sharing through our platform. We right now, just to give you a snapshot, J.D. Powers, as we all know, is a tremendous company that gauges net customer positive sentiment ratings of the largest and most prominent brands in the United States. We, since September, I'll give you the April report. Since September 21st, our launch, through April, we had more social and online impressions than AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and Sprint. We had almost 800 million impressions. We didn't pay $1 for those. Those are all through our members sharing naturally across social. Here's what's more important to that, though. Those almost 800 million impressions, we had a 96% positive sentiment rating, meaning of the almost 800 million impressions across online and social, 96% of them were positive. Contrast that to the approximately 750 million of an AT&T, where theirs was approximately 20% of each one of those impressions were positive. And so that's all because of the platform that's in place, and frankly, we're about our members. How do we help them save money every day, and how do we help them make money by doing what they do naturally every day?
Clearly, I guess the path forward is now you launch your marketplace, and now you really implement the Costco model, in the sense of you really start using that buying power to go way beyond mobile phones. It's all the other stuff, right? So it's an ongoing, and that's sort of a self-generating process, one would think. Have you? And obviously it's still early in the game, but do you think this is something that would apply overseas? And the reason I ask the question is, as part of my other life, I live a very strange life, right? As part of my other life, I'm a partner in a company based in Dubai, and we're about 100 million too. And that company does business all over the world, and I've traveled all over the world, and I see which I'm sure you know, since you've been in the telecom business forever. Asia is actually way ahead of us in many ways in terms of the utilization of mobile. Do you see something like this could you leverage something like this into Asia and Europe primarily?
Well, it's you've hit on a key chord, Paul, because when we architected this platform, we didn't architect it for a few $100,000. We architected it for tens of millions. And this platform is agnostic to location, to currency, and to people, and language. And so we built this where it's based on people. So I'll give you an example. You will see us, going to other parts of the country. In fact, we're, slated to very shortly announce, what will be the very first country that we will actually spawn into, where, some of the largest mobile operators in the world are competing to be the exclusive network for Solavei in that region of the world. Because, in fact, and I believe in other parts of the world, is even going to be much more viral, even in the U.S., because if you think about the U.S. and how Solavei works is, whatever phone you bring, if it's a GSM phone, you just take your SIM card out that you had, you put the Solavei SIM card in, and now you've got Solavei's mobile service. Well, here in the U.S., the majority of the population don't even know what a SIM card is. There's an education process that's starting. As you get off the plane in London, as you know, or you get off the plane in Indonesia, everyone understands, one, they all have unlocked phones, most of them. Number two, all they'd have to do, and they know how to do it, take their SIM card out and put a new SIM card in. That's even going to, I believe, propagate even more from an international standpoint. But just imagine this. Everyone here in the United States is one or two people removed from someone somewhere else in the world. I've got a lot of friends in London. I've got a lot of friends in different parts of the world. You imagine having a platform that, and they're all connected, most of them are all connected through Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and everything else, that the moment we're about to say we're launching in, pick the country, you're going to see a bubbling effect without any marketing dollars having ever been paid. It's all happening socially, all happening through people, because we're going to have the stories of what's happened here in the U.S., where we have thousands of people have free mobile service every month just because they happen to have 3 trios connected to their network. And so we've built this to be an international platform, not a domestic.
Of course, conversely, and I don't know, I haven't thought about this very much, but on the other hand, in places like Asia, Indonesia, the Chinas, the Singapores, maybe not Singapore, but in some of these places, you're actually going to have a learning curve the other way, because these people are typically very mobile savvy. I'm pretty sure they're pretty social savvy. But the concept of membership in a commerce perspective is probably fairly alien to them. It's kind of weird, but I mean, it's almost a different kind of education process. Do you think that's a challenge or no?
Yeah, so it's so if you look today, in the activities that's happening in China, that's happening in Japan, and that's happening across Europe, from everyone understands the concept of saving money. You have different, you always have different margin structures. To what costs us here $49, in the United States, hypothetically could cost you, 10, whatever the currency is in that part of the world. But also from margin structure, it's in cost of living. All of this blends out. And the way we built our platform from a commerce perspective is it will right adjust based on what's happening in that market. If you think from a commerce perspective, we look at what we call share of wallet, and everyone every day and every part of the world has a share of wallet that actually is where they spend their monthly budget. And part of it is on primary merchandise, goods and services. Obviously, what happens in India is very different than what happens in Germany. What is the attachment there in that local market that's inside of our platform that enables our members in that local market to actually benefit, save money, and make money? You have also part of what we have slated here in the U.S., where our primary things you spend on here in the United States is you have primary merchandise, goods and services that you have. You happen to have mobile, you happen to have utility, so energy, gas, electric, you happen to have cable, you have financial services, you have insurance. All of those things are primary budget items. And our objective is not to bring things to the platform that are what we call the nice-to-haves, the things that you actually have to really sell. We're bringing things that all you have to do is share. That by being a part of Solavei, everything that Solavei brings on creates an opportunity for me to save money, and additionally, when everyone in my network uses it as well, gives me opportunity to earn income.
Right. So yeah, it's an affiliate
Behavioral.
network. It's an affiliate concept on steroids, right? Interesting. Now, presumably, then, in order to do that, one of the core competencies of Solavei has got to be, and maybe I'm dead wrong on this, but I'm just thinking it through it. But presumably, you'd have to find, for your marketplace, in order to utilize that scale that you have from your membership to drive prices. You're going to spend a lot. You and your company are going to spend a lot of time, I would think, working on vendors, right? I mean, I would think, basically saying, just like what Walmart does, beating the vendors down. That's a terrible way of putting it, but making it more cost effective for your members because of their scale. You have to go to the vendors to do that. Is that more an offline process?
Yeah, so we actually look at someone on the inverse, is that everything that sits inside of Costco, most typically is Costco will, today anyway, 5% of them looking for things, 95% of them just betting what do they want to actually offer to the member base. Because what do they create? They create a distribution. And right. What ends up happening, it's very similar to water. Water will always find a path downward in the flow. Products will always try to find a way to distribution. If you can create a distribution, I believe our members aren't, compared to other brands, I'll say even a telecommunications operator, they don't have relationship with their, quote, subscribers. They have somewhat of a binary relationship. Someone's buying in order to get. Ours, right. Not only is somebody getting, but they're also belonging to something much bigger than themselves. Every person that's part of our company, whether you're today just $49 a month and you just want mobile service, you're a part of actually positively impacting people's lives. And the hundreds upon hundreds of stories we get on a weekly basis of impact, when you start creating that aggregate pool of, call it 1 million plus members that are collectively together, and the leverage you create, being, sourcing and identifying the goods, the services, the primary utilities from somebody's life will not be difficult. In fact, we're already seeing it today where we have very large brands, we have very large service areas already finding their way to Solavei saying, we want to be a part of this now, not later.
Right. Build it, they will come is I guess the other way of looking at that, yeah. So in other words, you're basically saying because you have the membership, the vendors will come to you largely based on those demographics. Interesting.
On that point, our whole focus every day is continue to deliver, great value, great quality with the services that we provide. Obviously, doing it today with, nationwide 4G network at $49 a month, unlimited text, data, voice. Enabling our members through our platform to naturally connect every single day to people that they like, love, and trust. Then enable them to actually earn by actually being connected to those individuals very naturally, and ultimately because of that member growth that we're having happen every single day. I go to bed at night, I wake up the next morning, our member growth has actually occurred greater than it was the night before. Every night is higher than it was that morning. Our member base is continuing to compound, and then putting in now the other services, the other goods that will enable our members to spend less every single month on their primary items and ultimately enable them to earn by being the voice. Ultimately for us, it's just creating a compounding effect of that. And our company will have a focus every day is wrapping our arms around our members, enabling them to see greater success in their life.
Be sure to check back for future editions of the President and CEO Focus on the Middle Market podcast series. Thanks for listening.